Hi, welcome to the last part of Hangman, part 4, the vocals. I know it's taken a long time, but you did want me to show you everything, so I've done my best. With all my vocal sessions with Toe, we both agreed that we would put a sign on the door saying, "Strictly no entry, please." And the reason for this is we both wanted to concentrate. We didn't want any interruptions. There was only the sound engineer, me and Toe allowed to be in the control room. I also needed the freedom to be able to tell him when something was good or bad without having to think about Grengjai. I didn't want to embarrass him and I wanted him to feel completely comfortable. It is a most important thing to keep your singer focused on only you if you're the producer. You are the connection between the singer or artist and the people. It's like climbing a mountain. If you lose your concentration and let go for a moment, you lose it all. You need to keep eye contact with your artist at all times so that the artist doesn't feel disconnected behind the other side of the glass. When I am vocal directing, I keep one finger on the talkback button so I can communicate with the artist, so that I can mute my voice when I say to the engineer, "Make it." And I press the button again and say, "That was great, but let's try again." You see, the engineer needs commands, but the artist needs a human. Some of these directions even include where to breathe, how long a note is, and when the vibrato should start. I also look out for the proximity effect. When a singer turns his head to look at the lyrics, the sound will change. The low end changes and the volume, and these things you can't replace because they haven't been recorded. It's a bit like this. You can hear me now, and then I turn my head, and then it sounds like this. So all these things are worth considering when you're making music. Let's get on with it. So this is Toe's main vocal track. It's just the verse, bridge, and middle 8. I recorded the hooks on other tracks. So now let's go through some of the settings. So this is the vocal without compression. You'll notice it's not too dynamic. And this is because I recorded the vocal through a compressor, but not too much, obviously. So let's listen to the vocal with nothing on it.
ขอเวลาอีกนิดหนึ่งให้เวลาฉันนับหนึ่งก็พอขอเวลาเพื่อหายใจสูดลมหายใจให้เต็มปอด
Okay, so I'm using EQ as the first plugin in the insert. And all I've done is low cut. Then I cut a little bit of 500k by 2 dB, and I boost around 2k. This is kind of a standard setting for a male rock vocal. So I'm boosting that by about 2 dB. I'm also boosting him at 9k. I usually boost vocalists between 8k and 10k. And in this case, I'll boost by 3 dB. Let's play it again.
ขอเวลาอีกนิดหนึ่งให้เวลาฉันนับหนึ่งก็พอ
So notice, as I'm playing back, this meter here will show you the output volume of the vocal. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make the vocal a similar volume all the way through. I'm going for between 18 and 12. So when I play it now with nothing on it, you'll notice the volume goes quite high and quite low, too dynamic. And that's okay if we listen to it like this on its own, but when we play it in the track with the rest of the instruments, you won't hear some of the words.
ให้เวลาฉันนับหนึ่งก็พอขอเวลาเพื่อหายใจ สูดลมหายใจให้เต็มปอดทุ่มให้แทบจะทุกทางผิดหวังไปกับทุกอย่างที่มองขอเวลาอีกนิดหนึ่งอย่าเพิ่งคิดว่าฉันจะไม่บินต่อ
So now it's going to get louder.
ถึงแม้ฉันจะไร้กำลังตราบใดที่ใจฉันยังอยู่ไม่เคยคิดแพ้สิ่งใดทั้งนั้น
So you can see that it's going up to minus 6 dB, right? So now when I put the EQ and the compressor in, it should help us to keep the vocal between 12 and minus 18 dB.
ให้เวลาฉันนับหนึ่งก็พอขอเวลาเพื่อหายใจสูดลมหายใจให้เต็มปอดทุ่มให้แทบจะทุกทางผิดหวังไปกับทุกอย่างที่มองขอเวลาอีกนิดหนึ่งอย่าเพิ่งคิดว่าฉันจะไม่บินต่อ
Yes.
ซึ่งแม้ฉันจะไร้กำลังตราบใดที่ใจฉันยังอยู่ไม่เคยคิดแพ้สิ่งใดทั้งนั้นขอเวลาอีกนิดหนึ่ง
So this will help the vocals stay at the right volume throughout the track and stop it disappearing. Now take a look at the spectrum analyzer and you'll see how much that low cut is really helping. It's quite important, so have a look.
ให้เวลาฉันนับหนึ่งก็พอขอเวลาเพื่อหายใจ
See all this stuff down here.
สูดลม
We
หายใจ
really want to get rid
ให้
of
เต็ม
that.
ปอดทุ่มให้แทบจะทุก
And it does the job well, getting rid of all of
ผิดหวังไปกับทุก
that
อ
nasty
ย่าง
low.
ที่มองขอเวลาอีกนิดหนึ่ง
All of this 20 hertz stuff makes the bass end of the track sound very unclear. So we definitely don't want it on the vocal track because after all the vocal is the loudest thing that we can hear and has the loudest volume. And that's why we love EQ. All right, so now we're going to get down to the business of the rest of the vocal. So I'll start with the hook. The hook is on this track and so I copied the EQ and I copied the compressor across. And I put the harmonizer on it, exactly the same. But this time I'm using a big hall reverb on the vocal. So I'll just let you have a listen to what that sounds like from here. Here we go. So that's the big reverby one, and I put a double track with it. So that's the two tracks together singing the same thing, but this one's got effect and this one is completely dry. No harmonizer, no nothing. But obviously the same EQ and things. So we have the main vocal, and we have the chorus vocal, and we have the double track. Then we have this. And this is quite unusual. Have a listen. Next one. And that does that twice, but this one slightly different. And now this one. It's a very unorthodox way of doing things, but it really sounds good in the track. So I'll play these two together now. Now the next one. I think it does the same thing twice. Let's listen. Yeah, I probably even copied it. Now I'll put that in with the double track of the hook. It's kind of weird, isn't it? But I deliberately put no reverb on this one so I could put reverb on these to make them different and separate because it's all Toe's voice. So in with the main vocal, it sounds like this. Okay, so let's just hear that in the track. These harmony parts now, which is this here. Let's hear it on its own. Yeah, it sounds weird on its own, but in the track it's nice. Yeah, so you'll notice actually the whole vocal is dry. There's absolutely no reverb on it until this bridge. So I had to use automation to put some reverb on Toe's voice. Yeah, look. Yeah. Which kind of prepares you for the next bit, which is all full reverbs on this chorus. So, and there's another harmony here, the same place, I think, in the second verse. Then the reverb comes in. It's funny, every time I hear it, I can hear tuning on May. It's a bit sharp, and I didn't fix it. May. So just for fun, and because it's 2020, I'm just going to fix it for myself. Because I can. So, only that one word, I promise. Keep passing, Mike. That's what it should be. Mike, I keep passing, Naughty, right. So what happens next? So now there's this extra bit of bridge here. So we've got some a different harmony again. Let's put it around the same volume. You can hear a double breath there where I edited it. such a great singer, though, and he really did love my sound design as well. All these ideas, he couldn't live without them. He absolutely loved all these little extra bits. These are the extra delay bits, which I'll show you in a minute. What's this? Ah, you're going to love this. Okay, so there's this part here. So what I did here was we did this, some crazy vocal. Very David Bowie style. So it's an octave below.
แม้ล้มลงไปอีกครั้งฉันยังสู้ต่อไปไม่ยอมถอดใจ
I can hear him laughing. I can see him laughing doing it.
ไม่ยอมถอดใจ
Yeah, he's smiling at the end of that because he can't believe he can sing so low. So then we did an octave up.
แม้ล้มลงไปอีกครั้งฉันยังสู้ต่อไปไม่ยอมถอดใจ
So those two together.
แม้ล้มลงไปอีกครั้งฉันยังสู้ต่อไปไม่ยอมถอดใจ
And now three of them together, of course.
แม้ล้มลงไปอีกครั้งฉันยังสู้ต่อไปไม่ยอมถอดใจไม่ยอมให้ใครหยุดฉัน
And there you have it. It's like a very... Do you remember when I said about the acoustic guitar making this section sound very warm? That's why there's no reverb or anything. It's like coming home. So now there's all these effects here. I started doing this very early on in Silly Fools days. I used to just copy Toe's vocal to another track and then move it so it would sound like a delay, but like a real delay. Rather than a delay effect, it's actually his own voice delaying with itself. So we'll start with this one. See what's this? There you go, you see? Just sounds like a bit of vocal. But when you put it with the original starts earlier than that. You see? You see? So it's actually just a copy of his final edited vocal, but moved so that it makes a delay. So that's that delay effect, and I do it later as well. I did something here. So I did it there, and obviously it's got to be mixed in to work, but it made the whole thing sound kind of dreamy and trippy. So that's that. Then we've got this, which I'm sure you all know very well. It's this effect. Yeah, that's before we had lots of filter effect things. I'm doing that by hand with EQs and things and all sorts of things. Yeah, I'm moving the cut and boost around. That's another effect, which is obvious. And last but not least, what's this? Another one? I don't know what that is. I think I put it into a very basic Pro Tools effect. And then we mix them together, of course. So you can actually hear he's saying Chun Mai. Chun Mai Kai Kid. But that really is it. That's all the different things. So just as a little treat, I'll just solo the vocals.
ใจฉันมีเพียงผู้เดียวแม้ว่ามันจะโดดเดี่ยวก็ตามขอฉันเพียงแค่ศรัทธาเป็นอันว่าทำได้ทุกอย่างแม้เส้นทางมันลิบตาแม้ว่ามันจะลำบากก็ยอมแต่ขอเวลาอีกนิดหนึ่งอย่าเพิ่งคิดว่าฉันจะไม่บินต่อถึงแม้ฉันจะไร้กำลังตราบใดที่ใจฉันยังอยู่ไม่เคยคิดแพ้สิ่งใดทั้งนั้นถึงแม้ฉันจะไร้กำลังตราบใดที่ไฟฉันยังอยู่ไม่ยอมให้ใครมาทำให้ฉันไม่เคยคิดยอมแต่ขอเวลาหน่อย
Okay.
แม้ลมลงไปอีกครั้งฉันยังสู้ต่อไปไม่ยอมถอดใจไม่ยอมให้ใครหยุดฉัน
Wow. Now the last part.
ฉันไม่เคยคิดยอมแต่ขอเวลาหน่อยไม่เคยมีขอแม้จะแพ้ใคร
Now, for some reason, we stopped that chorus vocal there. Let's listen. Aha. Go on, Toe. You know, since Candyman, the thing that I always told him, the first thing I told him about his vocals was to always make sure that it sounds like he had more air. Don't finish it by going, ugh, and letting all your air out. So if you go, ugh, and push out the last part of air, it's always going to sound more powerful. He always did it. Have a listen. And he puts more vibrato on the end as well. I'm probably waving at him through the window. I used to wiggle my hand up and down when I wanted vibrato. Vibrato. Yeah. Rib Royal แล้วครับขอบคุณครับทุกคนห้ามลืม subscribe นะครับขอบคุณครับสวัสดีครับ